What's up, everybody? You're watching B-Boy 45, the hospital's own TV and radio station. It's a happy Monday morning. Like most Monday mornings, we got our friend Maya. Maya, are you there with us?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Well, I'm doing fine, but I hear you're doing really good. Why is that?
Yeah. Because Chris Sullivan is calling in.
We got Chris Sullivan on the show today. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. All right, Maya, before I start jumping all in your parade, you better start asking questions. Go for it.
Okay. So I am so excited to be talking to you today, and I love that you were on an episode of Dumb People Town with Randy and Jason Sklar.
Yeah.
They're really good friends of mine, and I call them my LA uncles.
Oh,
so.
That's what I'm going to start calling them. They do feel like uncles, don't they? No matter how old you are, Randy and Jason Sklar feel like those uncles that come to visit twice a year, and they always bring the best gifts, and they always bring the sweetest candy, and they're all they're very funny guys.
Yeah. Every time they come to Denver, we meet up with them and we go get ice cream. So.
Oh, that's great. And of course, we can't forget Dan Van Kirk.
Yeah.
Who's like my brother, like my bro.
Cool. So how did you get your start in acting?
I got my start in acting back in high school. I had a bunch of energy. Right. I was a very energetic, performative kid. And my mom saw that and decided to send me to an audition. And so she sent me to the play, the high school play audition. And I started there. I started doing theater in high school, and I found a love for it there. And then I realized that it could be my major in college. And so I went and studied theater at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. And then I went out into the world and started hustling and auditioning for things.
Oh, cool. So you've done a lot of stage productions, including Chicago. What is your favorite part of working in live theater?
So first, I did a Broadway musical called Chicago. That's a pretty famous musical. It's been running on Broadway for over 20 years. And there's a character in there named Mr. Cellophane, Amos Hart. He sings a song called Mr. Cellophane. And I had been singing that song for auditions for like 10 years. So when I moved to New York and I finally got an agent, they were like, do you have any goals, anything you want to do? And I said, well, as soon as they're looking for a new Amos Hart, I'm the guy. I know the song. I'm ready to go. And sure enough, a couple months later, I got to audition for that. But the best part about live theater is the connection with the audience. There's an immediacy there that you can't get in film and television. You to sit in the same room and to tell a story and to have a group of people respond to it in real time becomes an incredible relationship, whether it's laughter or oohs and ahs or cry or tears. Being a part of that type of storytelling is a very special experience. And to get an opportunity to tell the same story over and over and over and over again, it becomes a new story each night because each actor is a different person each day. They bring something new to the stage with them every day. And of course, there's a different audience every day. And so, yeah, I think it's that immediacy that I really, really love.
Oh, cool. So you've been in so many things, including Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, The Nick, and The Normal Heart. Of all the roles that you've played, do you have one that you've related to the most?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, it's very hard, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which if there are a bunch of kids watching, that's probably where you know me from. I played Taserface in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Very hard to relate to that guy. Very hard to relate to a kind of a horrific looking space pirate. So I think the role that I've related to the most probably is Toby on This Is Us, which is the role I'm kind of playing right now. He and I are probably the most alike and probably the most similar, or at least we've become more similar as the seasons have gone on. But yeah, I think that's probably the role.
Oh, cool. So how did the opportunity to play Toby on This Is Us come about?
I was in Los Angeles filming a movie, and my agent called and said, "We need to." My agent at this point, I lived in New York, and my agent said, "We need to put you on tape for this TV show." And for anybody who doesn't know, being put on tape means you audition. Essentially, you audition at home and you video it and you send them your audition instead of going to an audition. And I said, well, I can't. I'm in Los Angeles, so I won't be able to. And I'm traveling tomorrow home, so I won't be able to do it today or tomorrow. And they said, "Oh, well, if you're in Los Angeles, they're doing the auditions at Fox Studios tomorrow. So do you want to stop by the auditions on your way to the airport?" And so literally I swung by the audition on my way to the airport, read my sides the night before, and wasn't quite sure what the show was or what was going on. But I knew the character, I knew the scenes were good. I knew the writing was incredible. And I got the part. It was just a one audition thing. Which is kind of not the way it always goes. There's usually in television, there are second auditions, third auditions, all these callbacks. And then there are chemistry tests where they put actors together on camera to see if there's that spark, to see if they relate well. But I just did that one audition and it all worked out.
Cool. So what is it like to be part of such an impactful show?
The show, the themes that we touch on This Is Us are very relatable. I think our audience oftentimes are going through very similar things in one way or another. So to be on such a well-written show, to be on a show that reaches so many people, kind of turns the world into a small town for me, for us, the cast. Everywhere we go, we meet wonderful people who have seen the show and who relate to the show and who are sometimes using the show to start conversations with their kids or to navigate certain emotional experiences in their own lives. And so it makes everywhere I go, I have these wonderful experiences with the people who watch our show. So it's nice to be on a show like that. And to have those opportunities to, like I said, to meet the audience, to have that interaction with the audience.
Cool.
Real quick side note, I'm joined here on the bench by Harry. He really wanted to be on the show and keeps sniffing at me, wanting to say hello. So do you say hi? Okay. All right. You gonna relax now? Okay.
Every episode of This Is Us, I mean, makes me cry and makes everybody cry. Do you ever cry when you read the scripts?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a few scripts that have made me cry when reading them. That we definitely, obviously, there's some tears when we make them. But I got to tell you, I cry more watching the show than I do making the show. There's all these other kind of things that go into the art of connection when it comes to TV, right? It's not just the writing, it's not just the acting, it's the way they edit things together. It's the music that comes in. And when all of those things come together in the final product, it really evokes an emotional response from the audience, which we've kind of become known for.
Oh, cool. So what has been your favorite episode to film?
Oh, geez. I mean, the episode where Toby and Kate both take their bachelor and bachelorette parties to Las Vegas was pretty fun, because the whole cast got to go to Las Vegas and hang out, and Justin Hartley and I got to go out and have a nice dinner, just the two of us, and it was like a field trip with work. So we had to go stay in a hotel and shoot at that hotel, and that was a lot of fun. And it was a pretty low stakes episode. There wasn't a lot of heavy stuff. There wasn't a lot of crying. It was a lot more fun and upbeat scenarios. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I know. I love every episode, but one of my favorites was the one that really kind of explained like all of Randall's anxiety. Mm-hmm. And because I know like that was super relatable to me, and I know to so many other people.
Yeah. It was relatable to me too, because I have similar struggles with anxiety, and seeing Randall, Randall's this character who is so successful, is so loving, seems to have everything together. He seems very well put together, but he also struggles with this severe anxiety. And we don't oftentimes get to see, I know people like that in my life who seem just upbeat all the time, very happy-go-lucky, and they have all their ducks in a row, but they also struggle with depression, or they also struggle with anxiety, and we don't often get a chance to see, the origins of how that comes about. And I think it's very helpful to see it, demonstrated so skillfully by our writers and by Sterling K. Brown and all those folks.
Yeah. So you do voiceover work also, and I found out that you were the voice of the Hump Day Camel for the Geico commercial.
That's right. Does everybody still remember those commercials?
I read it. I remembered it.
Yeah.
But how fun was it to be the voice of this character that then after it, or this camel that then after it aired, like everybody was saying it? Yeah,
those commercials are so funny and so well written and so well put together. For anyone who doesn't remember, there was this camel walking through an office asking everybody what day it is. Like, hey, guess what day it is? Anybody? And the joke is that it's Wednesday, and nobody likes Wednesday except for this camel. And it was a lot of fun. Voiceover is such an interesting part of an aspect of an actor's career, because you audition at home, you go into a booth, you're all by yourself, and you do these things, and sometimes it's for products that you could care less about, or something that you like. It doesn't really matter. It's this interesting job. But that one was a lot of fun. And kind of the fun fact about that, if you go back and watch any of those commercials, at the end of all those commercials, there's a guitar player and a mandolin player who deliver the punchline of the commercial. They say, how happy are customers for switching to whatever, happier than a camel on Wednesday. And they play a little music. The guy who plays the mandolin in those commercials is my best friend.
Oh, cool.
And he got that job long before I was hired to play that camel. And he only got that job because a banjo player he knew was like, hey, I'm going into audition for this thing and I need a partner. They want us to come in teams. And he wasn't an actor. He wasn't auditioning for things, but he's a really good mandolin player. And he cared so little about getting the job that they cast him. He was just like, yeah, that dry attitude that you have is perfect. And so he did like 15 of those commercials. And one day I was auditioning and I said, hey, did you do one of these commercials with a camel? And he goes, yeah. Did you see it? And I said, no, I think I'm the camel. and so we have been immortalized in advertising history together.
Cool. So you recently released your debut album, 6 Feet From Under.
Yeah.
All the songs are amazing.
Oh, thanks.
What is your songwriting process like?
Well, for this record, I tend to go lyrics first. And I had collaborated with a gentleman named Taylor Goldsmith, who is the lead singer of a band called Dawes, and who is also married to Mandy Moore. And he is one of the most incredible songwriters working today. He's outstanding. And we became friends, and we realized that we shared a lot of the same musical influences. And one day I was at home writing a song, and I wrote the first half of the first verse, and I recorded it and sent it to him and said, hey, you want to write a John Prine song? Because the song sounded like this artist named John Prine, who we both were huge fans of. And he said, sure. And so he wrote the second half of that chorus and sent it back to me via text message. Then I wrote the first half of the verse and sent it to him. And we wrote the song over like 2 days over text message.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And once we realized how much we were enjoying it, then we got together in person and we sat down, and I would bring an idea and he would say, oh, I have this other idea that fits in with that. Or I would just bring a line or a lyric, and we would write as we went. And it was really collaborative. You know, I think no matter what I'm doing, whether it's music or theater or television, whatever it is, my favorite part about being creative, about being an artist, is collaborating with other people and challenging myself to learn new things. Creating something out of nothing with someone else is this kind of forever satisfying experience.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I love writing songs. So I can't sing. That doesn't stop me, but I can't, but I like writing. Yeah,
songwriting has nothing to do with singing. You know, it's also, we have this idea of what it means to be able to sing or not sing, because we're comparing ourselves to to Adele or to, you know, Taylor Goldsmith or whoever it is who have these beautiful voices, and we think, well, if I can't sing like that, then I can't sing. But if you listen to some of the greatest singer-songwriters of all time, your Bob Dylans, your Tom Waits, your Carole Kings, they're not the most immediately striking singers. They just have these honest songs, and they sing from a place of honesty and truth. And if you do that, those songs connect with people. And it doesn't matter if you're on key all the time, or if you're, you know, a lot of the way I sing is very rough and very, you know, it's not perfect. And so yeah, I hope you keep writing songs. I hope you keep doing that, because it's a wonderful exercise.
Thank you. Yeah, it's actually I was talking to Randy and Jason a while ago when like there was just all this stuff going on in the world, and we were talking about kind of what we've been doing to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them, I was like, I don't always know like exactly what to say or how to put something into words, but like when I'm writing, like that's how I can express that.
Yeah.
So that's my outlet.
Yeah, there's another dog here who really wants my attention and wants to say, "Do you want to say hi, Sally?" There, look at her little cone.
Aw.
Okay, well, I'll be with you in a second. Okay, I'm in the middle of an interview, if you don't mind. She's very insistent. She stomps her front feet. Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about creative expression is a lot of times there are ideas or feelings that are too big and seem too difficult to express, but you can put it into a song, or you can put it into a poem, or you can write it down on paper, and they kind of become more easily manageable or easily digestible when we do that, I think.
Yeah. So who are your musical inspirations?
Definitely Taylor Goldsmith. I think he, to get a chance to work with him was just an incredible thing. John Prine was one of the first musicians I remember hearing my dad play for me. I grew up listening to Pearl Jam and Nirvana in the the beginning of the grunge era. I think I listened to a lot of Paul Simon. And then, yeah, I think those are like the base of inspiration for me as far as songwriting goes. But let's go to my iTunes here and see what I've been listening to recently. And then I always like to do this. I've been listening to a lot of the Avett Brothers. Do you know the Avett Brothers?
No.
You'd love them. A couple of guys. I got the new Fiona Apple record, which is incredible. My buddy Dan Mills put out a new record. What else have I been listening to? Let's see. I got the new Taylor Swift, which is a fantastic record. Fleetwood Mac I've been listening to, and REM. Do you know the band REM?
Yes.
They're from the 90s. And they're fantastic, and I've recently gotten back into them big time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to record under the name Joseph the Spax?
So I think a big part of acting and a big part of being creative for me is taking on a character. There's something about it that allows me to speak from a perspective of a character that is more freeing than. Here's some songs from Chris Sullivan. Joseph the Spouse is the name of a Catholic saint. I heard him mentioned in a mass. I was at an Easter mass a couple of years ago, and I was started to think about that story, and I started to think about what his role in that story was. And Joseph is kind of famous for being a witness to this miracle in that story. And that's what I feel. That's how I feel when I make music, that I'm witnessing a miracle, that like there was nothing and now there's something. People open their mouths and music comes out, or people pick up a guitar and bang on it and all of these beautiful sounds come out. And so being a witness to that miracle over and over again, it kind of felt like the appropriate character to perform under, And my middle name is Joseph, so I relate to it. that way. But it's more about that relationship with music and that process. So that's how that came around.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Have you discovered any new talents or hobbies during quarantine?
Well, most of quarantine has been about my beautiful pregnant wife, Rachel, and she gave birth back at the end of July. And so all my new skills are dad related. I'm really good at changing a diaper. I'm like a rodeo cowboy. I've gotten really good at cooking. I'm working on my pan flip, where you hold the pan and you flip food up in the air. What else? What else are we doing? A lot of like home improvement stuff that I didn't have time for before, or didn't think I could manage. I've started to like tackle. But yeah, it's been a lot of homemaking stuff that's been going on. But mostly the hobbies of being a dad and taking care of Bear.
Oh, cool. So what show, have you been binge watching any shows?
Yes. We've been binge watching a lot. We binged Ted Lasso on Apple Plus. We binge watched, there's a new kind of soapy vampire show out there called A Discovery of Witches. That is on the Sundance Channel. It's a British TV show about witches and vampires, and my wife and I are enjoying that. What else? We've been binge watching. The Great British Baking Show is always a big one for us. I love HGTV. So I've been watching a lot of Hometown with Ben and Aaron Napier. What else? What else have we been watching? Oh, we watched The Mandalorian. I mean, we've seen everything. What have you been watching? What's your favorite?
Well, I've been binge watching Arrow, which I'm completely obsessed with.
Oh, Arrow, nice.
Yeah, and then my family and I have been binge watching a bunch of stuff, like the new season of Cobra Kai, and we've also been watching a ton of movies. So.
Oh, cool. What are your favorite movies that you've seen recently?
A couple months ago, we watched Words on Bathroom Walls.
Oh, what's that?
I love. It's a movie about this high schooler who gets diagnosed with a mental illness.
Okay.
And so it's a lot about, it really brings awareness to mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also just so good because he meets this girl who kind of helps him like with his illness.
Okay.
So that's really good. And then we just watched a movie last night called Don't Tell a Soul.
Don't Tell a Soul. Ooh.
Yeah, which is a thriller, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came to like a very sudden end, but I still really liked it.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So I just have a couple more questions for you. What song do you have on repeat on your playlist?
Okay, there's a song by Paul Simon called Obvious Child. The Obvious Child. And it has like a marching band in it. And it's the song when I want to dance around and act like a fool and get excited. It's the song that I crank all the way up. I think it's my favorite song. I think if anybody asked, like, that song is my favorite song. And the other thing that I've been listening to recently is What a Fool Believes by Michael McDonald, which is an 80s classic. You wouldn't know it. Look it up. What a Fool Believes. And it's a sweet synthesized jam. You'll like it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't think I've I don't remember if I've heard that song, but our mom plays us a lot of 80s music. So my sister and I are obsessed with it.
Then if your mom has played you a bunch of 80s music, you might have heard this song before. If you look it up, you'd be like, oh, I know this song.
Okay. What's it called again?
What a Fool Believes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you got
I'm
it.
writing it down so I remember.
No worries. I'm writing down those movies. I think it's
so what terrible movie do you secretly love?
What terrible movie do I secretly love? You know, there's a pretty dumb, what is it called? I used to watch it over and over again. Oh no. Oh, it's a dumb 90s comedy called Out Cold. And it's like one of Zach Galifianakis's first movies. And it's so dumb and so funny. That's probably pretty high on the list. And then another movie that I used to love that I thought was really good, and then you go back and watch it and you're like, oh, this movie is not good, but I still love it, is a movie called Tombstone. It'll be that's a hot take for anybody who knows the movie, but it is not good, that movie, and and I love it so much.
So is there a line from a movie, book, or song that's had a big impact on you?
Yeah. There's a lyric from a Ray LaMontagne song called Empty, that has always stuck with me. It goes, I laid bare my chest, said, do your best to destroy me. So I must admit, you kind of bore me. And there's something about that, about a person standing so confidently in front of the things that challenge them and laughing in their face. That is always, I don't know, it's one of those lyrics that when I hear it, I was like, I wish I'd written that. Do you have those in certain songs? You're like, that lyric is so good, I wish I'd written that lyric.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
I mean, after witnessing the birth of my child, my wife is a real life superhero. I have the strength and the magic that she has brought into this world is just incredible. I think Brandi Carlile is a real life superhero. She's just an incredible artist doing so much. Do you like Brandi Carlile? Do you listen to Brandi Carlile? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then, there are so many people in the world doing so many good things. Such a good question. Real life superhero. Yeah, I think that those two women are probably high on the list.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, my mom and my sister are my superheroes. Yeah. They're we're all just just a small unit. We've been joking that we've been quarantined together since March, and we're not sick of each other yet.
That's good.
Yeah, we were like, that is a talent.
That's you're very lucky. You're very lucky. We feel the same way over here. I've been quarantined with this guy for 8 months now, and we're still getting along, right? Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Listen, when you have a son named Bear, you end up with a lot of bears in the house.
Well, that was my last question. Thank you so much for calling in.
My pleasure.
I had so much fun talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, Chris, you were awesome, man. Appreciate all the time you spent with us and with Maya.
Yeah, of course.
Have yourself an
Have a
awesome
good
day. And we hope we get to talk to you again.
Yeah, I'm around.
All right. Bye, Chris.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.